If you're a coach and you want to hit consistent 150, 250, even up to $1 million a month, I want to walk you through the exact model I use to be able to make that happen. Now, I'd love to say it's because I'm so smart and I'm so special and so awesome, but that is a complete lie. There is just a process. There is a system. This is the model that me and my team use to be able to make this happen. And I want to show you how to do it right now. Business coaches and agencies don't want you to see this. Why? Because if they were the solution for you to be able to build your business, you would not be watching this right now. You'd be on a yacht off the coast of Croatia, working on your suntan, but you're not. What you're most likely is you're frustrated from working hard, doing everything right, and not seeing your income grow. You're probably fed up because you've tried to use the methods such as webinars or challenges or VSLs, book funnels. Even you're trying to do the whole social media, Hormozy content thing, and you're still not getting consistent leads and clients. The problem with so much of that is they're just one-trick ponies trying to sell you on stuff that realistically there's a lot of upfront work. It's super tech heavy. It takes large budgets. It's super competitive because everyone else is trying to do it, and there is no guarantee of success. Now, you do not have to take my word for this. I believe that the proof is in the pudding. And that's why I want to be able to show you when a coach is able to use this stuff, he's been able to add $566,000 of sales in just 1 month. We've got another partner that was able to just hit $1 million of profit per quarter. Yes, that is $4 million of profit every year, hair-free in his bank account. Then there is another coach where we use the exact model here, and he's been able to add $177,000 of sales just in the first 30 days from the very get-go. And then another partner being able to add $100,000 cash collection and adding $35,000 of monthly recurring revenue, all from using what I'm about to show you inside of this model. Now, how did I come to actually creating what we call now here the Rainmakers model? See, after selling my last multi-million-dollar coaching company, I had all the SOPs, I had the campaigns, I had the funnels, I had all of the IP. And since selling the company, I've clocked over 220 hours of private consultations with 6, 7, and 8-figure coaching business. Now, in every single consult, I've been able to keep private notes. This has just been my treasure chest. And with that combined with the portfolio of coaching businesses where we are inside building these businesses in the trenches every single day, that's my competitive advantage. That's my competitive advantage that I want to be able to give to you, because this is the secret special sauce, because we know what's working, what's not working, because we have the hard data to be able to show that. And this is why the Rainmaker flywheel was being able to get born out of knowing what is exactly working. So is it worth you sticking with me for the next 10 to 15 minutes? Yeah, well, yes, it is. Worst case scenario, you're going to know the exact mental model for you to be able to use inside of your business so you can copy, you can abuse it, you can use it. Best case is you see this, you love this, and you start applying everything, and using the link below, you apply to partner with us so we can come in and actually build it all out for you to be able to build your business and build your bottom line as well. Now, before we get into this model, I want you to understand it's simple when you get it, but it's not simple to get to it, which is why I want to walk you through the actual kind of intricacies of how this is going to work. So we really break this down into 3 critical parts, which is there is the acquisition, which is how do you get people that don't know you to know you? And how do you actually start building that know, like, and trust factor with them so that they can happily go into the buying process, and then you can actually sell them as well. The next part of it is the retention side of things. So there is being able to, in the acquisition, we want to be able to look at how do we acquire clients? How do we do it on a cost per acquisition? If we get into a little bit of the jargon, the mumbo jumbo of this stuff, the cost per acquisition, how much is it costing us to be able to acquire clients? We want to obviously bring that as low as possible, but also we don't want to bring it too low where we're acquiring crappy quality clients because they're the kind of energy vampires that we want to avoid. We want A grade, high value clients who are going to be able to stick with you for longer. So the sticking with you for longer is a key critical part, which is the second section of this. This is where we call this retention. This is where we need to make sure that clients are coming on board and you're having a front end sale, but we have a back end to the process as well. We really are able to increase them staying with you for longer, being able to get amazing results with you and being able to increase their lifetime value with you as well, which comes into the third section, which is the profit. This is where you're going to be able to actually ensure that your bottom line, the money going into your bank account at the end of the day, which is why one of the main reasons you're doing this business is going month to month increasing as well. So let's break this down. Let's go into it right now. In the acquisition right now, there is 3 critical parts, what we call accelerators right now. There's 8 accelerators to the entire Rainmakers flywheel. Now, the first accelerator is us being able to increase leads. How do we be able to have a straight line selling system? This is one of the very first things that we do when a partner comes on board with us is we build out a straight line selling system. And that first part of it is increasing leads. How do we get more people that don't know you to know you? And how do we start to actually nurture those leads so that we can put them into a selling process as well? We don't just drive people straight into a selling process straight away. That's kind of like walking into a bar and just immediately walking up to a girl. I tried this, it didn't work in my 20s, and just being like, do you want to come home with me? It doesn't work like that at all. Anyway, not for me with this face. But the way we want to be able to do it to grow your business is we want to be able to have a highly effective means. We want to get really clear on what your message is and what your market is and what it is that separates you from everybody else. So this is a very high likelihood that you're in a competitive market, and that's okay. Saturation in market is okay. That just means we want to be able to have market domination. The second accelerator is increasing conversions. Now, this is where we need to be able to look at your entire sales process. We engineer every single step into your sales pipeline, and we want to know exactly what's working, what is not working, what we need to fix, what we need to optimize. And this is where we get really hard in the data, looking at the key metrics and making sure that we're fixing and tweaking the right things. Because when we are just able to increase leads and increase conversions, even if it's only by 10 to 20% on each of those 2 factors, we're massively able to increase what comes out at the end, which is sales and profits for you as well. But there is a third key part to this acquisition model, and that third accelerator is being able to increase the actual dollar size of the transactions. So whether it is the dollar size of the first transaction of the customer actually going from not knowing you, a lead or a prospect, to then a customer, because what we're really doing is we're taking somebody from a prospect to a customer to a client. There's 3 critical steps in that. I'm not going to get into those weeds right now, but we want to look at this third accelerator really being in how do we increase the actual dollar size of each of the transactions going on as well. Is it just a case that we're going to ramp up and increase the actual amount? So where before you were saying, hey, it's $2,000 for you to come on board per month, and now you're going to say it's $2,500 per month for you to come on board. There's obviously technical ways that we want to be able to increase the actual dollar size of transactions whilst at the same time being able to increase your conversions as well. So when we look at the 3 accelerators, there's increase leads, increase conversions, increase the actual dollar size of the transactions. Now we get into the second part of this flywheel, which is the retention. Now, what we want to be able to do is we want to look at the key systems and what is actually determining for you to be able to, firstly, in this 4th accelerator, be able to decrease churn. We don't want people that then come on board to be able to leave. Now, especially this is kind of like one of those dirty little things that's just like not spoken about, especially in the coaching world, is a lot of people are selling, let's say a program that's 12 months long and it's $2,000 a month for them to come on board. Have you subscribed? If not, this is the best time for you to subscribe, whether you're on the YouTube or on the podcast. Why? Because it would be a bummer if you missed out on everything that's to come, or
don't subscribe if you're not actually getting much value out of this, because there is a zillion other things that you could be doing. So I'd rather you go and do that. The ball's in your court.
Now, a lot of people are going, great, I've made 10 sales this month. So therefore I've made $240,000 of sales this month. Whoa. Easy up there, big boy. What we really are happening, and what so much is happening with so many coaches, is because of their churn is so high, they're not collecting all of that through their entire lifetime value of what that client is coming on board. We're seeing a lot of time that the actual churn, they could be cutting off and leaving you after months, 2, 3, 4, but they're certainly not staying their full duration. They're certainly not staying for 2, 3 plus years, which is what we're really going to engineer for. Because when we're able to get somebody that you might say typically on a lifetime journey is only sticking with you for say 4 to 5 months, and we're able to turn that into 2 to 3 years, that is a huge increase in actual profit to your bottom line. That is a huge increase in the actual amount of what your business is worth as well. So we look at that fourth accelerator of decreasing churn as we go through it. Now, the fifth accelerator is we want to be able to increase offers. We split this into 2 different parts. There is the actual you just putting more offers out into the world and being able to get more people to say yes or no, but we want to be able to increase the amount of offers that you're putting out, but we also want to increase what is it that you're actually selling as well. If you're just selling one main program, let's say we use that, you're selling 12 months at $2,000 a month coaching program right now. Now, there could be very often people are not able to actually afford, or they don't actually have that trust factor. And you're probably getting a lot of the time in sales calls, in DMs, where really they're not buying from you because you're getting the objection around money and really around trust. We can have and put another offer into your quiver for you to be able to then sell lower end. And this is where we go from prospect to customer to client. So we could sell somebody into a 4 or 6 or an 8-week program at a lower dollar amount that is then able to then ascend. So we build an ascension system to take them from lower end programs all the way through. Because remember, we want to look at how do we actually be able to retain clients for 2, 3 plus years as well. So that fifth accelerator is ensuring that we're increasing your offers. Now, then there is the increasing TAM. Now, I'm not talking Tim Tams. I'm a big fan of those. I'm talking about your total addressable market. So what is the total amount of actual people that would be actually a good fit and able to become a customer and client of yours? What we're looking at when we're increasing your TAM is we're being able to broaden out, being able to lengthen out who it is that you're actually able to serve and to be able to help and to be able to impact as well. A lot of the time you might have too much of a TAM that's small and you need to just be able to increase that. So when we're increasing your total addressable market, we're going from, you might be swimming in a decent size, medium size pool. Now we're going into a big ocean. We're going into a big ocean with a highly competitive, high converting offer with a high converting sales system, because we've already built all of this out, which means we're massively able to increase the amount of sales and new clients that are able to come on board in this as well. Now, 2 more accelerators to go, and this comes under the actual profit side of this flywheel. And the 7th accelerator is we want to be able to look at increasing profits. So this is where we actually want to be able to look at everything that's happening inside of your business, all the operational drag, all of the expenses that you have, what you're doing with team members, how much it's costing you to acquire a client, how much it is that you're actually putting out into the world and having to spend inside of your business. What is it that we need to be able to do to be able to cut back, which goes into the 8th accelerator. I'll touch on it in just a second. But what we would then want to look at is we want to be able to look at all the different facets that go into you being able to increase profits. This even goes to Stripe fees. This even goes to what are you doing about tax? This goes into all the different areas and arenas that is involved with what happens from you being able to collect a dollar and how efficient and effective you are at selling, all the way through to what goes into your personal bank account for you to be able to use to live the life that you want to be able to live. Now, lastly, the 8th accelerator to do with the Rainmakers flywheel is then we work on increasing operational efficiency. We want to be able to look at how is your team, how is the structure, how is the culture actually working inside of your business as well. This one is really about you being able to also step back and be able to have the business work without you being there. Or ultimately, you just doing what it is that what we call is your zone of genius. Now, if there's really just like one or two, maximum three things that are like your zone of genius that you absolutely love to do, that you would wake up and you want to do those, whether you're getting paid for it or not, and you get energized because you get to be able to do that. That is your zone of genius. That is what you should be doing. That is what we work towards you being able to do. So when we increase operational efficiency, there's two factors that we look at to be able to make this happen. There is the actual efficiency of your business being able to run with you in your zone of genius. And then there is also what I call the sabbatical, which is, can you take 1 month off per year and go completely dark? And I mean, like for me, it's typically us going as a family off to Mexico, and I'm just like not on technology, and I'm able just to be barefoot, sandy feet, eating all the guacamole that I want to. That is being able to have a sabbatical. So can you actually be able to build and structure and organize and lead your business to a point for you to be able to have a 1 month sabbatical per year? Now, you might not want to be able to have 1 month off per year. I don't know if for me, I think it's really good, but also it's about actually building the business so it can operate without you. So it's a true business as well, but also so it's a true asset for whether it is something that you want to be able to sell later on down the track as well. That is something that we can look at, ensuring that it all comes under this Rainmakers flywheel effect. So that is how it all comes together. And you want to be able to look at this right now, and you want to be able to ask yourself what it is that's missing or broken right now. You might have a bit of a Swiss cheese problem when it comes to this. So that's why we look at the traffic lights into these 8 accelerators. So when you look at each of these 8 accelerators right now, what's green? What is it that you're like, yes, I absolutely have that accelerator down. It's working, it's optimized, it's doing its best thing. Or is it orange, where it's like, I've got that system, I've got those processes in place, but they're not fantastic. It's not the best thing in the world, and I can't really trust it, and it's not optimized. Or is it red, where it's like, hey, I either just don't have this accelerator on board, I've really not looked at this, I've really not asked these questions before, and it's not something that I can trust and be able to have. That's perfectly fine. That's where you want to be able to look at, okay, these are the things that you now work with. This is how you use what I've just been able to share with you. You look at these 8 accelerators and you go, what do I need to work on right now? So that you know on every quarter, the projects that you're working on. Because this is the thing, if you're working and spending so much time and effort, and you've got your team even working on the wrong problems, then why would you ever expect your business to get to where it is that you want to get to? It is the theory of constraints. There is one key constraint that we want to solve, that one constraint that is holding, slowing, stopping your business from getting to where it wants to go. We want to be able to solve that. And then we just rinse and repeat. We do that every single quarter. So that is the Rainmakers flywheel. And this is what we do with our partners. This is why we're able to grow and scale coaching businesses so much quicker than what so many other people are able to do. And this is being able to do this from using and coming in and knowing, okay, what is it that is your constraint right now? We diagnose, we find that exact constraint to make sure that we're using the proper reporting and data in place to know exactly what that is. Then me and my team are there planning and executing the strategy so you can sit back and relax knowing that everything is being able to get taken care of for you. Then there's also that you don't need to try and recruit or manage an internal team to be able to do this, because we're already there doing this for you. So we can take that off your plate, take that stress and strain. And then really simply as well, the way that we work with partners is being able to then look at what we call a partner cadence. So every quarter, every month, every week, we're there installing the systems, running and improving the campaigns, running the funnels for you, making the adjustments needed, ensuring that we're aligned ultimately to growing your profits really easily as well. So at this point, you've probably got a couple of questions. A couple of the key questions that come up right now is like, okay, number one, what if this doesn't work for me? which is a great question to ask, but that's exactly why that we have an application process. We don't let people in that we aren't 100% sure that we're going to get results with. And we want to make sure, because we can only work with a limited amount of partners as well, which is why we're quite stringent in this. It's actually why we're very stringent in this. But the next question you're probably thinking is, well, what if you've already got a marketing department in place? And that's where you don't need to worry. We'll integrate with them and amplify everything that they do, because it's very important to us that we are seamlessly coming in and being able to integrate with you and your team as well. Now, the third big question, and what I would be asking is, well, what results should I expect? And this can also kind of come to like, it's asking like, well, how long is a piece of string? But seriously, this is why that we have our application process. So you can actually answer and go through everything that's needed so that we can give you that answer to, well, what should I expect? Because right now I can't give you anything. If I was literally trying to say some numbers like so many other people are, I call that the rectal extraction method. I'm pulling numbers out of my ass right now. And I think that's a waste of both of our time. So really, you got to think about, well, how much time do you need to put in to be able to make this happen? If we're to partner together, how much time do you have to put in? And what's that really saving you? Because this is one of the big reasons why our current partners have chosen us. Because once we go through that on-ramp period of getting started, once we go through setting up your first straight line selling system, and then building out all of those different 8 accelerators in that flywheel that I've just walked you through, this is where we're able to take those responsibilities on, take them off your plate, make them vanish away so you don't have to think about it. Because the big factor that comes into why is it so hard and why can it be so stressful to build a business is because I'm also a believer that we don't have business problems. We have personal problems that really just show up and manifest inside of our business, which is one reason why that we use the word partner. This is us truly partnering. This is us because I know all too well that personal life stuff comes up. The kids are sick. You're not feeling well. Family's issues arise. All of that stuff. This is where you can lean on us, where we take the slack and you don't need to be able to stress that stuff. Because entrepreneurship, running your business, I know it can feel lonely. I know it can feel like you're just trying to do it all by yourself as well, which is why I don't want you to be able to feel that. None of my partners, I never want them to feel that, because I want to make sure I'm there, because you get us all the way through, which really brings me to the exact reason why I wanted to be able to share this video with you, because we're not scaling what we do, because our incentive inside the Rainmakers is scaling your business. We're aligned with the exact incentive, which is your bottom line. So if you're seeing this, it means we have vacancy. And also it means that we are able to take on applications. So I've deliberately set this business up for maximum lifestyle advantage for myself and for our team. This is why we have a capacity of how many partners we want, because we know that we don't need to exceed that, because at the end of the day, we don't need to earn more money. We enjoy what we want. The money gives us all the abundance that we need to live the life that we want. And so that's why we're happily being able to cap it. So if everything that we've covered so far sounds even a little bit interesting, because I can't cover everything in just this short demo, then the next step is to click the button below to apply. And yes, to be really clear, this is an application. You click the button, you answer the few short questions, and then your application goes to me and my team. We review it. There is no calendar page for you to choose a time on in the next page, as we must vet and we must confirm your application first. Once you go through your application, then we'll be able to be in touch. You'll get an email from us whether your application is good, and we'll be able to book you in a call to make sure we can answer all of your questions and go through your initial game plan as well. So if that sounds good, then all you need to do is be able to click that link below, go through the questions, because you could be next in sending me messages like what I was sharing with you before, where you're able to add $566,000+ in just 1 month, or you're able to get launched and do over $177,000 in just 30 days. Or if you want to be able to profit over $1 million every single quarter. These are things that you're able to do when you actually have the right systems, the strategies, and execution in place, which is what we're here to do. So worst case scenario is you apply, you have your demo call with us, and you actually see behind the scenes with us showing you everything, being able to then how to apply it into your own business. And that's probably more valuable than what most business coaches and masterminds and courses are actually making you pay for. Best case scenario, we partner with you and we start growing your business, making your life easier straight away. So is it worth 15 to 20 minutes of your time going through the application process? Hell yes, it is. Because if you're on the fence and you're not even sure if you qualify for this, that's okay. Go through it and then we'll be able to let you know. So all you need to be able to do is just click the button, answer a few questions, we'll be in touch, and ultimately, I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
If you've enjoyed this episode and it's vibed with you, then make sure that you hit subscribe, whether you're on the YouTube or on the podcast. And importantly, if there is any guests that you want me to have on the show or specific questions or topics that you want me to be able to cover for you, simply put it into the YouTube comments or send me an Instagram DM. That way I can make sure you're getting the most out of actually being here.